A new day is a blank canvas full of possibility. Today, choose to live with intention, to embrace every challenge, and to take another step toward becoming the best version of yourself. This morning isn't just the start of another day. It's an opportunity to lay the foundation for your future. Let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you, reminding you that you are in control of your thoughts, your actions, and your destiny. Rise above distractions, stay focused on what truly matters, and remember, growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens with purpose. So take that deep breath, stand tall, and step into the day ahead, not just as a routine, but as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live with meaning. Begin your day like a Stoic. Meditation 1. Remembering your mortality. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the constant reminder that we will die, not to instill fear, but to bring clarity to how we live. Most of us walk through life forgetting this simple truth. We act as though we have all the time in the world, putting off what's important, holding on to resentments, or waiting for the right time to start living the life we truly want. But the truth is, none of us know how much time we really have. When we carry the awareness of our mortality with us, it changes how we approach everything. It makes life more precious, more immediate. The small things that once seemed so important, the petty arguments, the distractions, the unnecessary stress, lose their grip on us. We stop giving our energy to what doesn't matter. Instead, we start to focus on what truly does. When you realize that every moment could be your last, the question arises, how do I want to spend this moment? Would I spend it scrolling on my phone, complaining about trivial things, or waiting for tomorrow to do something meaningful? Or would I spend it being present, saying what needs to be said, loving those around me, and living in alignment with my values? Remembering that we will die isn't meant to make us morbid or anxious. It's meant to wake us up, to remind us that every day is a chance, maybe the last chance, to live with intention and purpose. It's easy to fall into the habit of believing we have endless time, but the truth is, we don't. We never know how many days we have left. And when we accept this, we become free. Free to live more fully, free to prioritize what truly matters, and free to let go of what holds us back. So today, and every day, carry that awareness with you. It's not a burden, it's a gift. Because when you remember your mortality, you don't live in fear of it. You live more consciously. You live with more presence, more gratitude, and more urgency. You start to see the beauty in the everyday moments, the conversations with loved ones, the quiet moments of reflection, the simple acts of kindness. You don't know how many mornings you have left, but you do have this one. Use it wisely. Meditation 2. Appreciating what you have. So often we find ourselves focusing on what we don't have, the things we wish were different, the things we still desire, the gaps we think define our happiness. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of longing for more, a better job, a better relationship, a different life. But in doing so, we miss the beauty of what's already here. We overlook the blessings that surround us, simply because we are too focused on what's lacking. The Stoics understood that true contentment doesn't come from accumulating more, but from fully appreciating what we already have. It's about shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance. When we stop comparing ourselves to others and stop measuring our happiness by external standards, we realize that everything we need to be happy is right in front of us. Take a moment to look around. Consider the people in your life, the ones who support you, care for you and challenge you. Think about the simple pleasures, the warmth of the sun, the food on your table, the peace of a quiet moment. It's so easy to take these things for granted when we're chasing something just out of reach. But the truth is, the more we acknowledge the goodness already present in our lives, the more fulfilled we feel. Appreciation doesn't mean complacency. It doesn't mean giving up on growth or ambition. It simply means recognizing that you already have enough. You are enough. You are not lacking anything essential to your happiness. When you stop looking for happiness outside of yourself, you start to realize it's been inside you all along. It's in the way you engage with the world, the people you love, and the choices you make each day. Gratitude is a powerful practice, and it's one that can transform the way we see the world. The more we appreciate, the more we attract. The more we focus on what we already have, the more abundant our lives become. Even the challenges, when viewed through this lens, become opportunities to grow and learn. So today, instead of looking outward for what you lack, turn inward and recognize the wealth that already exists in your life. It's not in the next big purchase or achievement. It's in the small, everyday moments that we often overlook. In the end, it's not the things we have that matter most. It's the way we choose to see them. Meditation 3. Embracing simplicity. In our modern world, complexity surrounds us. We're constantly bombarded with distractions, commitments, and expectations. Our lives are filled with clutter, both physical and mental, that keeps us from focusing on what truly matters. We collect more possessions, add more tasks to our lists, and chase after more success, believing that the more we accumulate, the more fulfilled we'll be. But in reality, this constant accumulation only leads to overwhelm and confusion. The Stoics taught that true peace and freedom come not from having more, but from having less. Not in terms of material wealth, but in terms of complexity. When we clear away the unnecessary, we make room for what's important. Simplicity is not about giving up everything we enjoy. It's about recognizing what we truly need to live a fulfilled life and letting go of everything else. Think about the clutter in your life, physically, mentally, and emotionally, the things you hold on to out of habit or obligation, the thoughts you carry around that drain your energy, the people and commitments that don't align with your values. What if today, you made space by letting go of just one thing? One thought, one possession, one relationship that no longer serves you. Embracing simplicity isn't about living in deprivation. It's about living in alignment with your values. It's about focusing on what truly brings you peace, joy, and growth. It's about prioritizing the things that give your life purpose and eliminating the distractions that pull you away from that purpose. When we simplify our lives, we find that the things that matter most, connection, clarity, creativity, can flow more freely. Simplifying doesn't mean you have to give up everything you love or need. It means making choices that align with your deepest desires and your highest values. It means freeing yourself from the weight of excess and focusing your energy on what truly matters. The less you carry, the more you can live with intention. So today, ask yourself, what can I simplify? Where can I cut away the excess? What can I let go of to make room for more clarity, more peace, more freedom? Embrace simplicity, not as a sacrifice, but as a path to living more fully. Because in the end, it's not the things we have that define us. It's the way we choose to live. Meditation 4. Controlling what you can. One of the greatest sources of frustration and anxiety in life comes from focusing on things we cannot control. We worry about the opinions of others, the outcomes of situations, the actions of people we can't influence. The more we try to control what is beyond our grasp, the more powerless we feel. Yet the Stoics remind us of a simple truth. There is freedom in focusing only on what we can control. In every moment, we face a choice. We can either spend our energy trying to control things outside of our reach, or we can choose to focus on what's within our control, our thoughts, our responses, and our actions. The world will continue to unfold in ways we can't predict. People will behave in ways we can't always understand or influence, and circumstances will arise that we have no power over. But how we respond to these things, that's entirely within our control. Think about the last time you felt stressed, anxious, or upset. How much of that stress came from trying to control things you couldn't change? Maybe you tried to control someone else's behavior, or worried about a situation that wasn't even in your hands. The more you focus on those things, the more you feel out of control. But when you bring your focus back to what you can change, your own actions, your own thoughts, your own decisions, you regain your power. The Stoic practice is to remind yourself again and again that there are only two things you truly control: your actions and your attitude. If you can cultivate the wisdom to recognize what is within your power and what isn't, you free yourself from endless frustration. You stop spinning in circles, trying to change the unchangeable, and you start channeling your energy into things that can truly make a difference. Today, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you can control: your mindset, your behavior, your choices. Everything else is beyond your reach, and that's okay. Let go of the weight of trying to control the uncontrollable, and focus instead on creating the best possible version of yourself in the face of everything life brings. In that simple shift, you'll find freedom. Because when you stop struggling with what's outside your power, you gain the ability to master what's within your own. Meditation 5. Ignoring others' opinions. So often we find ourselves shaped by the opinions of others. Their judgments, their expectations, and their beliefs can dictate how we live, how we speak, and how we view ourselves. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to please others, seeking approval, and measuring our worth by external standards. But the Stoics teach us a powerful lesson. The only opinion that truly matters is your own. Think about it. How many times have you held back from doing something, not because it was wrong, but because you were afraid of how others might see you? How often do you change your words or actions to fit in, to be liked, or to avoid criticism? This constant search for validation from the outside world keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. It makes us lose sight of who we truly are and what we truly want. The truth is, other people's opinions are theirs, not yours. Their judgments are a reflection of their own fears, insecurities, and experiences, not yours. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who disagrees, who criticizes, or who tries to impose their view of the world onto you. And if you allow their opinions to define you, you will never be free. Freedom comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are. You don't need anyone's approval to live a meaningful life. You don't need anyone's permission to be true to yourself. When you live for others' opinions, you give away your power. But when you live for your own, you take it back. Ask yourself, why do I care so much about what others think? Does their opinion really define who I am? Am I living my life based on my own values or based on someone else's idea of who I should be? The Stoics taught that we should focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and choices. Others' opinions are outside of our control, and they are not worth the energy we give them. Instead, take a step back. Recognize that you are the only one who truly understands your journey, your struggles, and your path. Trust yourself. Live with conviction, regardless of what others may think. Today, choose to free yourself from the weight of others' opinions. Live for yourself, not for validation. When you stop seeking approval, you start living with authenticity and purpose. And that, more than anything, will bring you peace. Meditation 6. Avoiding unnecessary reactions. In every day, we are presented with countless moments that trigger a reaction in us. A sharp comment, an unexpected event, a situation that doesn't go as planned. It's easy to react immediately, to let our emotions drive us, to speak without thinking or act impulsively. But the Stoics remind us that true strength lies in choosing how we respond, rather than reacting automatically. Most of the time, our reactions are knee-jerk. We let anger, frustration, or anxiety dictate how we behave, often without considering the long-term consequences. But when we react without thinking, we give up our power. We allow external circumstances to control us. Stoicism teaches us to pause, to take a step back before we react, to reflect on whether our response is in line with our values and goals, and to choose the response that will bring us peace, not more turmoil. Think about a time when you reacted impulsively. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic, or you got into a disagreement with a friend or coworker. In the heat of the moment, it felt natural to respond in anger or frustration. But how did that make you feel afterward? Did it bring you peace, or did it leave you feeling drained, regretful, or unsettled? More often than not, impulsive reactions leave us feeling out of control. But when we learn to pause, to breathe, and to choose a thoughtful response, we regain that control. In those moments, we give ourselves the space to decide how we want to show up, regardless of what's happening around us. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected. It's about recognizing that our emotions don't have to dictate our actions. We can feel anger or frustration, but we don't have to act on it in a way that leads to more conflict or regret. So today, when faced with a situation that might trigger a reaction, take a moment, breathe, pause, ask yourself, how do I want to respond to this? Does my reaction align with the person I want to be? Is this a moment where a thoughtful response will bring peace, or should I simply let it go? When you stop reacting and start responding, you'll find that you can handle life's challenges with more grace and clarity. You'll feel more in control, more centered, and less tossed around by the emotions of the moment. And that inner peace, more than anything, is what will carry you through the ups and downs of life. Meditation 7. Living in the present. So often we find ourselves either looking backward or gazing forward, thinking about past mistakes, lost opportunities, or worrying about what the future might bring. Our minds drift to places and times that no longer exist or have not yet arrived, while the present moment slips away unnoticed. But the Stoics remind us that the only time we truly have is now. The past is behind us, and no amount of worry or regret can change it. The future is uncertain, and no amount of planning or anxiety can control it. What we do have is the present moment, the space between the past and the future, the place where life is actually happening. The Stoics emphasize that the present is the only moment where we can take action, make a difference, and experience true peace. Think about how much of your time is spent either in regret over the past or in fear of the future. How many moments do you miss because your mind is elsewhere, whether it's in conversations with loved ones, in your work, or in the simple, quiet moments of life? If you're not fully present, you're missing the richness of those moments. The beauty of life exists in the present, but we often overlook, distracted by the weight of what's already happened or what's yet to come. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or abandoning future goals. It means being intentional with your time, focusing your energy on what you can do right now. It's about being fully engaged in the here and now, not allowing your thoughts to constantly wander to what's outside of your control. It's about finding peace in the present moment, knowing that everything you need to live a meaningful life is already here, in front of you. Next time you find your mind drifting to the past or future, gently bring it back to the present. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to make this moment meaningful? How can I fully engage with what's happening in front of me, instead of getting lost in thoughts of what has been or what may come? When you live in the present, you begin to experience life more fully. The moment becomes more vivid, more rich, with possibility. You stop waiting for the right time, and you start living with intention, purpose, and gratitude. And in that simple shift, life becomes less about what you don't have and more about what you do. Meditation 8. Treating challenges as training. Life is full of obstacles, whether it's a difficult situation at work, a personal setback, or an unforeseen challenge. We all face hardships that can feel overwhelming at times. But instead of seeing these challenges as insurmountable roadblocks, the Stoics encourage us to view them as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, opportunities to train, opportunities to build resilience. Every challenge we face, no matter how tough, is an opportunity to strengthen our character. Just like a muscle that grows stronger through resistance, our minds and spirits become more resilient through adversity. When we approach life's difficulties with this mindset, they no longer feel like burdens. They become part of our training, shaping us into the person we are meant to become. Think about a time when you faced something difficult. Maybe it was a failure, a rejection, or a personal loss. In that moment, it probably felt painful. But when you look back now, don't you see how that experience taught you something? Maybe it helped you develop patience, wisdom, or determination. Perhaps it showed you what you're truly capable. For though the most valuable lessons in life often come from the hardest experiences. When we face challenges with the mindset of training, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance. Instead, we see ourselves as active participants in our own growth. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Each difficulty is a test of our mental strength and our ability to respond with virtue. This shift in perspective doesn't make life's challenges easier, but it makes them more meaningful. It helps us to keep moving forward, knowing that every hardship we encounter is an opportunity to become better. In times of difficulty, we learn to practice patience, self-control, and resilience. We learn to manage our emotions, stay focused on what we can control, and persevere even when things aren't going as planned. So today, when you face a challenge, remind yourself, this is training. This is an opportunity to grow stronger. This is a chance to become the person I want to be. And in that realization, you'll find the strength to push through, knowing that every obstacle is ultimately shaping you into someone greater. Meditation 9. Understanding pain is temporary. In life, pain is inevitable. We will all experience moments of physical discomfort, emotional heartache, and mental anguish. Pain is a natural part of the human experience, something we cannot avoid, no matter how much we try. But the Stoics remind us of a vital truth. Pain, whether physical or emotional, is temporary. When we're in the midst of pain, it can feel as though it will never end. The hurt can feel overwhelming, as if it defines us or will last forever. But the Stoics teach us that pain, just like all things in life, is transient. It comes and it goes. And while it may feel like the end of the world in the moment, pain is not permanent. It's part of the ebb and flow of life. Think about a time when you experienced pain. Maybe it was a loss, a failure, or a moment of intense frustration. At the time, it probably felt all-consuming. But now, with time and distance, that pain is no longer as sharp as it once was. You've healed, you've moved forward, and you've grown stronger because of it. This is the nature of pain. It's an experience, not a permanent condition. When we recognize that pain is temporary, it gives us the strength to endure it. We stop fighting against it, trying to escape it, and instead, we allow ourselves to feel it, to process it, and to learn from it. Pain becomes less of a threat and more of a teacher. It shows us our limits and our resilience. It reveals our vulnerabilities, and in doing so, it strengthens us. Understanding that pain is temporary also allows us to embrace life more fully. When we accept that suffering is a part of the human journey, we stop fearing it. We realize that, no matter what challenges come our way, we have the inner strength to face them. Whether the pain lasts a few moments or a few months, we know it won't last forever. And that knowing gives us the courage to move through it, to keep going even when it feels hard. So today, when you experience pain, whether physical or emotional, remind yourself, this is temporary. This pain will not define me. It will pass just like all things do. And in that understanding, you'll find the peace and strength to keep going. Meditation 10. Discipline brings freedom. At first glance, discipline may seem like a burden. We associate it with restriction, with rules, and with sacrifice. We imagine a life of constant restraint, where we deny ourselves pleasure and spontaneity. But the Stoics teach us that true freedom is found in discipline. Discipline isn't about living a life devoid of joy or indulgence. It's about having the strength and control to make choices that serve your long-term well-being, instead of giving into every short-term desire. It's about recognizing that freedom isn't the ability to do whatever we want whenever we want. It's the ability to choose wisely, to act in alignment with our values, and to live intentionally. Think about your life for a moment. How often do you give in to impulsive desires, whether it's eating something unhealthy, procrastinating, or spending money on things you don't need? In those moments, you may feel a brief sense of pleasure or relief. But afterward, that pleasure fades and you're left with regret or dissatisfaction. This is the paradox. In the moment of indulgence, we may feel free, but afterward we feel trapped by the consequences of our choices. True freedom, the Stoics teach, comes from the ability to act with intention. It's about setting goals, creating habits, and developing self-control in order to live a life that aligns with your deepest values. When you practice discipline, you create the space for what really matters, whether it's your health, your relationships, or your personal growth. Think about a person who has mastered their discipline. They might not indulge in every fleeting impulse, but they live with a sense of calm and control. Their days are guided by purpose, not randomness. Their actions are aligned with their values, and as a result, they feel empowered, not restricted. Their freedom comes not from abandoning discipline, but from embracing it. Today, ask yourself, where can I introduce more discipline into my life? What short-term impulses can I let go of in order to create space for long-term growth and freedom? How can I structure my day, my habits, and my mindset to support the person I want to become? Discipline isn't the absence of freedom, it's the gateway to it. When you learn to master yourself, you'll find that you are free, not from rules, but from the need to constantly chase after temporary pleasures that only weigh you down. True freedom comes from within, from the choices you make to live a life of purpose, intention, and control. Meditation 11. Be an example, not just a talker. It's easy to talk about the virtues we believe in. It's simple to preach about kindness, patience, and resilience, especially when things are going well. But the true test of our character lies not in what we say, but in what we do. Living by our values and leading by example is the most powerful way to influence others. Words are powerful, but actions are far more convincing. Anyone can talk about the importance of honesty, discipline, or courage. But it's only when we embody those virtues in our own lives that we truly make a difference. When we act in alignment with our beliefs, we become living proof of the principles we espouse. We show others, not with our words but with our actions, that living virtuously is possible, even in a world full of distractions and challenges. Think about the people who have inspired you the most in your life. Were they the ones who spoke the most about their values, or were they the ones who lived them every day? Chances are it was the latter. Actions speak louder than words, and the example we set can have a profound impact on those around us. Whether we're aware of it or not, we influence others through the way we live, the choices we make, and the way we handle adversity. The Stoics teach that living virtuously is not about making grand declarations. It's about making small, consistent choices every day. It's about being honest when no one is watching, practicing discipline even when it's hard, and staying calm under pressure. It's about being the kind of person others look to for guidance, not because we talk about it, but because they see it in our lives. So today, reflect on your own life. Are you living in a way that aligns with the principles you believe in? Are you setting an example for others, or simply talking about what you think is important? How can you lead by example in your interactions, your work, and your daily choices? Remember, the world doesn't need more talkers, it needs more doers. When we embody the values we teach, we not only transform our own lives, but inspire others to do the same. Meditation 12. Don't wait for perfection. How often do we find ourselves putting off our dreams, our goals, or our passions because we're waiting for the perfect moment? We wait until we have the right amount of time, the right amount of knowledge, or the perfect circumstances to begin. But the Stoics teach us that perfection is the enemy of progress, and waiting for it can prevent us from ever starting. Perfection is an illusion. No matter how much we plan or prepare, life is rarely going to be exactly how we want it to be. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and challenges. The key is not to wait for the perfect moment, but to start where you are, with what you have, and trust that progress will come over time. Think about it. How many times have you put something off, waiting for the conditions to be just right? Maybe you've wanted to start a new project, begin a new habit, or change something in your life, but you've held back because you weren't sure if everything was aligned perfectly. In those moments, we forget that the first step is often the hardest, and perfection is never the requirement for growth. The Stoics didn't believe in waiting for perfection. They understood that the pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and personal growth was a lifelong journey, one that didn't require a perfect beginning, only the courage to begin. Instead of worrying about whether you're doing things perfectly, focus on simply taking action. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. So today, ask yourself, what is one thing I've been putting off because I'm waiting for the perfect moment? What can I start right now, even if it's messy or imperfect? How can I embrace the process rather than waiting for the outcome to be flawless? Remember, perfection will never come. The only thing that will come is the growth, learning, and experience you gain from taking action. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Start now and let the journey shape you as you go. As we wrap up these Stoic meditations, remember that Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of life. Each meditation offers practical tools to help you live with purpose, resilience, and peace. By embracing these principles daily, you'll grow stronger, more present, and more aligned with your values. Take these teachings with you into your day, and remember, true freedom comes from discipline and living intentionally. If this video resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Keep growing, keep practicing Stoicism, and stay true to yourself. Until next time, take care and stay stoic.